lower creature. Picking up his pace, Ailean lost the soldiers, at least for a time, when he dashed down a busy street filled with sellers and buyers. He kept moving, charging up a set of steps and inside a building. He immediately recognized it as a school, perhaps a training ground for sorcerers or those who simply enjoyed learning. He considered himself a learner, but what he learned he never got out of a simple book. The world taught him all he needed to know. His dragon hearing picked up the sound of the soldiers heading down the street, so Ailean went up many flights of stairs until he ended in an enormous room filled with books. They were everywhere, on bookshelves, piled on the floor and on the tables. Students kept their heads down, not even noticing him. Perfect. Nothing had become more tedious than explaining his blue hair. After so many years, simply telling people his poor mother had been cursed while he slept in the womb seemed to quickly end the conversation, and had many women going out of their way to prove it didn't matter, which he never minded. Moving among the stacks, Ailean slid to a stop in the very back, near an exit and another window, in case he needed that as well. Then he caught a scent. It was deliciously familiar. He sniffed the air again. A dragoness. He grinned. Oh, he knew that scent quite well. After more than 3 decades, he'd never forgotten the owner of that scent. How could he? She'd thrown his own battle axe at his head. Among his kin, that was merely a declaration of never-ending love. No longer thinking of the soldiers searching for him, he let his nose lead him. The library went deeper than he realized, the scent luring him into the near darkness among old, dusty tomes he'd never give up a second of his life reading. When he finally stopped, he stared at the human form sitting on the floor. She had her back against the bookshelf and wore the robes of a human acolyte, the brownish-red tint of the cloth suggesting alchemy as the area of study. Ailean stared at the top of her head, the hood of the robe slipping off a bit to reveal golden hair. He'd never expected to see her living as human. Fascinated, he crouched down in front of her and stared, waiting for her to lift her head up. He wanted to see her face again. It took her a bit to pull herself out of her book, but eventually she looked up at him. Ailean took in a sharp breath at the sight of her. Gods of hellfire, she really is gorgeous. She had a pretty enough face and those always intense gold eyes, but it was those spots splattered across the bridge of her pug nose and onto her cheeks that fascinated him the most. Freckles, the humans called them. And below that, he almost sighed. Those lips, they were ridiculously full and the softest pink. He could spend hours enjoying those lips. Hours. Breaking into a wide grin, knowing he was the last being on the planet she'd ever wanted to see again, Ailean said with glee, "By all the gods of blood and death, if it isn't Shalin the Innocent. Did you miss me?" Oh gods, not him. Anyone but him. The one dragon she'd give anything to have in her cave, in her bed, anywhere she could get him. But even now, just having him here in the library put her at risk, especially with him naked. Ah, but what a beautiful naked he was. No, she couldn't think like that, ever. First off, what exactly would she do with him? She'd had lovers before. Well, she'd had 2, but 2 nice, quiet, well-schooled ones. But Ailean the slag, well, he was the stuff fantasies were made of. So very tall and wide, all of it sturdy strength and powerful muscle. Whether as dragon or human, he stood much taller than those around him. Then there was that hair, a silky mass of midnight